Why is keeping your tenant in place cheaper than a turnover? Hey everybody, this is Jason with the Landlord Launch, and we help landlords self-manage their property through on-demand training, live coaching, and support services. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the cost of a move-out and how that plays into resident retention. So, first and foremost, the retention, which is basically just the relationship with the resident, keeping them in place, getting a lease renewal signed. That's what I mean by retention. That starts from the very first time that you actually meet them. It's the way you answer your phone, it's the way you keep your appointments, it's the way that you appear and you dress at the property tour, your professionalism throughout the relationship, even when things aren't, if things aren't always on the up and up, it's the way that you react to that. You know, it's always a good idea to be professional, because in the moment, you know, maybe something's happening and so forth, but once you get past that, if you really look back, a lot of times, you know, the entire relationship could be a good relationship. It could be a good tenant, and maybe there's a bump here or there, that if you acted professionally and you decide you wanted to keep that tenant in place, then you know, you're going to have a lot more success than if you were to fly off the handle or treat that tenant poorly or whatever else. They're going to remember that. People remember the way that you make them feel, and it only takes one or two times, and that tenant's not going to want to stay with you. So I would say that if just stay professional would be my advice, just so you have the option when the time comes. If you do want to retain that tenant, then, you know, that's not going to be a roadblock for you. So let's take a standard rental. Let's get into the cost here. Let's take a standard rental. Say it's $1,500 a month. Let's just say your mortgage is $975 or so. Mortgage, taxes, payment, interest, taxes, insurance, $975. So first and foremost, if you have a property that goes vacant, let's just say that from the moment that they move out to the moment you're able to get somebody moved back in, because remember, a good tenant oftentimes is going to have to give a 30-day notice to where they're currently living. Somebody that is able to move quick, I mean, usually that comes with some issues. So if you find the right tenant, you're looking for somebody that has to give a 30-day notice and maybe a pre-lease. But regardless, you're probably looking at about a 30-day minimum of vacancy loss. That means you're going to have to cover that mortgage. So that $975, you're going to have to cover stuff like utilities, HOA, lawn care. Let's see what else here. We have any marketing, any of the turnover maintenance, any of the carpet cleaning, maybe there's floor replacement. But I mean, you take the $975, the $400 or $500 for maintenance, $100 or so for what am I thinking of here? Marketing, and that's, you know, we're already getting up to $2,300, $2,400 right there when you take all of that stuff into consideration, especially, I mean, definitely if you have a floor replacement in the middle of there or any portion of the floor replacement, carpet or whatever, you're gonna, you know, paint's not cheap either. So think $2,000, $2,300, $2,400. I say $2,400. That's a nice round number. That's $200 a month in vacancy loss. So expensive, and that's, again, you're also, one, not only are you not covering those expenses with the rent that would be coming in, but you're losing that rent, whatever that profit would have been for you. So I mean, if you rent your home for $1,500 and $975, and that's $525 on top of that. So I mean, now we're pushing closer to $3,000. That's going to cost you over the course of a month. So you can see how that adds up really quickly. And even when you're talking about doing rent increases, trying to figure out what you want to bring it up to, there's something to be said that, you know, maybe you should calculate the risk of it going vacant versus the benefit of the increase in the rents that you may receive, and what that would, you know, then there may be a point. I mean, if you're currently at $700 a month and your market's at $1,800, push the rent increase. You know, I mean, if they go away, then you take your hit on that 1 month, but the money that you're going to make back, you already pay yourself back in 2 to 3 months, and then from that point forward, you know, you're in a lot better position. That's a no-brainer. But if you're on the margins, I mean, you're really going to have to balance that and decide whether or not that's something that you want to do. You know, the other thing to think of before we wrap up here is the value of your time. A lot of people don't a lot of people don't put a dollar amount on their time, and I see this a lot with landlords who do their own maintenance, and they'll say, but why would I contract that out? It's going to cost me $50 an hour. I can get those materials with this and I can do that. And I'm like, yeah, but if you have the free time, that's what you enjoy doing, awesome. But if you have other things going on, or if that time that it takes you to get over there, like if you can only work on the weekends, which means you can get it done in 2 weekends, and that thing sits an extra 2 weeks vacant because you couldn't get your stuff done, then that's costing you money and vacancy loss right there. But what I like to do is put a value on my time, even if it's what you make it work. I mean, if you're making $20 or $30 an hour, fine, calculate what's it going to take for you to field the leasing calls, to go over there and tour the home, to screen the application, to prepare all the paperwork. What's it going to cost for you to sit down with them and make sure they have all the move-in stuff completed, all that. And maybe it's only 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of time, but I don't think a lot of people think about that when it comes into kind of like factoring the cost. It's a hidden cost that people don't really put on the front end there. So yeah, I would say that kind of wraps it up for just some of the things that there's more obviously that could go into the cost of that, but those are some very obvious ones that I think most people should think about when they're talking about move outs, the cost of move outs, and potentially how that would affect retention. Speaking of all the turnover items and the turnover costs, if you are interested, I have a great turnover checklist I will send to you. If you are interested in, just drop some comments below. Let me know. I'll send it over the messenger. No obligation, no sales page, no push, nothing like that. I'll shoot it over to you. If it helps you, great. If not, no big deal either. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Other than that, that's going to wrap us up for what I have for tonight's video. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.